are in the Tema station to try and interact with the people here to find out whether there's compliance with the reduction in transport fares. Let's try and speak to passengers who are traveling to get their mood first, and then we can speak to some of the drivers here as well.
When I was coming, I paid the same fare as they are taking, 7 cedi 20 pesos. But I've heard they have reduced the transportation, but still yet they are not reducing it. I don't know why.
So what's your expectation once you are going back? Are you expecting to pay same or you see some reduction?
Me, I'm not sure I will pay the same thing because they are saying now that they will reduce it. So let's see.
So that's it. Let me try and engage the young man as well.
I don't know what is going on. When the price goes up, they quickly increase it. But when it comes down, when the drivers, they have that kind of, they don't want to reduce it. When the price comes down, when the petrols come down, they don't want to reduce it. But when it goes up, they quickly, effect the increase. You understand? It's not fair. It's not fair. I don't know. Maybe from tomorrow going, they will reduce it. But until now, they haven't reduced it.
This morning whilst coming, did you witness any fight between a passenger and a driver, a mate, because of that?
Oh yeah. There was an incident. The mate and the passenger, they were exchanging words here and there. So I don't know. But as for me, I've calmed down and I just want to see from tomorrow going what's going to happen.
They are thieves. They don't want to reduce things. When they increase prices, their time will not even read, and they will increase it. But when it's reduced, they don't want to reduce it. I don't know why. They are all thieves. I exchanged words with a mate this morning, seriously.
720 omuji ya how much? Yeah, kasa how much? Yeah, about 720. Yeah, kasa mo mpene omusi ya. This next week ombe yusu. Asa o ye yusu ansa na ombe yu petrol. Amasi ombe fa nusu. Yeah, kasa sa how much ni sa wa ha. How much na eh tokwa kwa nkanum. Ndi ye mo fa police bla, soldiers bla. Ye bu mu pa na mu tututu.
So she's saying that this morning they had to fight with mate because they were charging the same fare as they were before the announcement of the reduction. And she's saying that left to her alone, she would wish that the government will bring military men to come and force them to charge the new fares.
What I'm trying to tell, they need to reduce it because right now, if they increase, if there's first time, they will increase it. The same day now, they will increase it. So as soon as it's possible, they should increase it. They should deduct it and let go free. That's my way.
Chief, when you were coming this morning, did you see any reduction in terms of your transport fare?
No, I came this afternoon. Yes.
You paid the same old fare?
Yes, please.
This afternoon, what time?
It was around 1 o'clock.
And you still paid the same fare as you paid last week?
Yes.
For you this morning, but there are some who say they have experienced a reduction in the fares. This morning, we've been joined by Samuel Amwa, PRO of the GPR, to you for a quick conversation on this. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us. Last week, we engaged you here on the show, and just as you said, we've seen a reduction in the prices. There are some of your drivers, though, who feel like they're being pressured to do this. They talk about the cost of brake fluids, for example, and other components of vehicles that they have to purchase, quite often. And they say those haven't reduced. They say, for example, you don't force the market woman to reduce the cost of her items, but you force us just because, fuel has reduced. How do you react to that? Do your people have an understanding that the prices must reflect what is at the pumps?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to your viewers. What is happening is, yes, we had an agreement with the Transport Ministry that we are reducing our transport fares by 15.3%. And what happened was that just after the agreement, we signed a communique. And then also, as GPRTU, we arrange the fare as to how much the reduction will go. Then we wrote a circular, then we distributed the circular to all our various regions, down to the branches and the local. And then we asked them to do so. And then we also asked them to start this reduction from yesterday, 19th December. So that was exactly what we did. But then yesterday we had some little challenges, some calls from other places that some of the drivers are not complying, that they are not complying. So straight away, we also did a follow-up, then we make sure that they were complying. But there are some calls that we also received, and we find out that most of the challenges were also coming from the floating drivers. So as of this morning, our expectation on what we know is that we have sent a circular, and we are making sure that all our drivers, that is GPRQ drivers, will comply to this directive.
Right. So have you checked the level of compliance yet?
Yes, we have done that. And you know, until a complaint will come, we don't know what is happening down there. But since earlier on I said something that anytime we are increasing fare, we have a process or a procedure that we use. We do write to them, then they comply. So that is the same way we also write to them and they are to comply. And my branch, as an example, we are complying. We have reduced it. Even the calculation was not up to 1 cedi, but we ran it up to 1 cedi. And there are, you know, so many stations that I can testify to that. So if there are complaining coming, there is still some complaining coming. What we have to do is still do a follow-up and to make sure that where the complaint is coming from, we will make sure those stations will also do the right thing. But at the moment, we have not received officially a complaint coming from a specific station that they are not complying.
Right. So this new calculations that you made, like I mentioned earlier, there are some of your members and some drivers who are worried about the cost of other components of their vehicles they have to purchase, and they say those haven't reduced. But would you say generally that the reduction in the fuel and the reduction in the cost still makes business profitable for you?
Yes. When we met the minister, we also we spoke about all these components because we are not using only fuel price to do our calculations. I think that is the main reason why we arrived at the 15.3%, because we made the minister understood that most of the components, that is the spare parts, they are not reducing it. The lubricants, likewise taxes, even from January 1st, insurance is going to increase by 30%. We spoke about that. So that is why initially the minister was asking us to reduce it by 18%. And we spoke, and at the end of the day, we arrived at the 15.3%. So this is what we have agreed on. So if we are not expecting the drivers to still complain about this spare part issue, and you know they will use that as a aspect that maybe because of where the spare part is, they are not going to comply by the 15.3% reduction. For that one, we won't accept that because we have agreed and we did our calculations before we arrive at the 15.3%.
When you say you have engaged them, you mean not only their leadership at the various regional and community levels, but the drivers have all been engaged, and they are all aware of these new adjustments.
Yes, national secretariats or the leadership were the people that had a meeting with the minister, and we have agreed. The moment we agreed, we stand on behalf of all the drivers. And the leadership of GRTCC too were there. They also signed the same communique. We can't call all the drivers to a meeting, but what we do is, straight away we send circular to all our regions. Then we order the regions to also write letters or to send the same circular down to our branches and the local, making sure that we arrange the fare. We arrange everything on paper. Like maybe previously you were charging this and now you are supposed to charge this. We did all those calculations and we sent to them. And we asked them to, ask the drivers that are working under them to go strictly by this. So it's not a matter of maybe calling all the drivers to a meeting, but we engage the leadership and we make sure that the leadership will also force their drivers to go by it. Let me also use my station as an example. When these things happen, the leadership got the information and we did our calculation, we gave it to the drivers and the drivers are complying. That is the same thing all the branches also have to do.
So what can someone do if they bought a vehicle from a station? Because we know that there are some drivers who are floating and all, they may not necessarily belong to any association per se. But what should somebody do if they sit in a vehicle from a station and they are still being charged the old fare? What are the mechanisms available for them to make reports to your outfit?
Yes, what we do is, even this morning I received a call from one of the stations. Somebody called me from one of the vehicles. Then he gave me the complaint. So straight away I called the leadership of that very station, and we make sure that they comply. So if someone board a vehicle from a station and they are still charging the old fare, they can call we the communicators, or they can send the information to their station or their branches, or maybe through you media. When you guys get this information, you send it down to us, and then we make sure that we do the correction. Somebody may ask, even maybe if we have a toll-free line that we call. No, we don't have that. But they pass this information through the communicators, and we also send it down to the leadership. Then we make sure that they comply.
I appreciate your time here this morning. Samuel Amwa is PRO of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU. Right. So Christmas is a few days away and it's getting exciting by the minute. The Joy FM Friday party in the park comes off on the 26th of December at the Ibri Gardens. The Joy FM Friday family party in the park. So I'll be here right after this to bring you more details on that while we get interactive with you.